guys. Welcome to this week's episode of our podcast, Just Us Being Us. I am your host, Adela Relentless, and I am here with my two co-hosts.
I am Bugbee, and I am wired.
I am Red Rebecca, and I am hungry.
I am also hungry.
And today I'm a vampire, but still the normal one.
Are we sure?
I mean, vampirism is completely normal. Just saying. I am forever young.
You literally are, though. You don't age.
I know. I know. It's built within my genes. I literally showed a picture of me back in college, like entering college, to two of the people I work with, and they both looked at me and they were like, other than the red hair you have in that picture, they were like, you could have taken that picture yesterday. And I was just like, I know, but I didn't. Yeah, no, I love it. But yes, so today on this episode, we are actually going to be talking about body positivity, which is going to be a very fun topic. I am really excited.
Is it going to be a fun topic?
It is going to be a very fun topic because it's going to be a very
passionate about this topic.
I know
which
you
is
are
officially going to make it a very fun topic.
No, yes. It's going to be good. I was just joking. It's going to be a great episode. I'm excited.
You will love yourself.
I do love myself.
We will make sure that by the end of this episode, you love yourself.
I do very much love myself. And right now I am very much loving myself in this outfit because I got the purple hair, got the purple, a day to remember. My nails actually match my hair. In case anybody was
speaking
wondering.
of outfits, I am definitely loving my outfit.
Your outfit is great. I love your outfit.
I know. I went full vampire for this outfit.
It's
for
amazing.
This episode. I know.
This is just everyday me.
Yeah. In case you can't tell, it is
outfit.
very Astarion inspired for those of you that can see it on the YouTube video. But yes, I decided to kind of go with a more vampiric look for my episode, or for the episode today. Oh my gosh, I can't talk.
Now you're the one who can't word.
Now I'm the one that can't word.
It's okay. I probably won't be able to word later.
Yeah. But in all honesty, this really does very much lead into today's episode, which is partly why I felt like this outfit would be super appropriate today. Plus, I also got my little Gustarian cup today. So that was
Gustarian.
I know. Which I realized that last episode I should have switched my cups and I should have used Gustarian for the last episode, and then I should have used my Astarion's favorite juice box for this episode because I realized it would have fit more with my vampiric theme, but that's okay. And honestly,
my juice box cup is downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have the same cup because I just use this cup over and over and over.
It is a good cup. Yeah, we have matching cups. It is. But yes, so for today's episode, like I mentioned, we are going to be talking about body positivity. So one of the reasons I felt this outfit was super appropriate is because I am one of the people that is very comfortable in my own skin. Like, I've actually worn this outfit to work, and it's really funny because a lot of my coworkers were just so thrown off by the red contacts that they were like, does your contacts match your blazer? And I'm like, yes, it does.
Thank you for noticing.
Yes, I know. And in all honesty, I love being very creative with the way that I look. I mean, you guys can tell, especially if you've seen pictures of me and you've watched the YouTube videos. I loved my creative freedom and being able to express and dress the way that I want, which is why the way that I look is very important to me. But that is a very big key factor in terms of body positivity, is that it is about me. There are, and I know that sounds super conceited when I say it like that, but the biggest thing about it is that every single person, whether you're a guy, girl, non-binary, whatever it is, you deal with personal issues with your body. It reminds me of that episode, or that scene in Mean Girls, that movie where they're all standing in front of the mirror, and even though they're technically like the super hot chicks of the school, they're literally sitting there pointing out different flaws in their body that only they themselves see. That's literally what I think about. And it's so true, because even looking the way that I do, and don't get me wrong, I know that this is about to sound very conceited, but I am very confident in the way that I look in myself, which is why I can do crazy things like wear different colored contacts. I can do my makeup really crazy. I can wear outfits like this and get away with it, and it looks good on me. Like, I know exactly what looks good on me. And the biggest thing about it is that there are also certain things that do look good on me, but I'm never comfortable wearing. And it goes into that body positivity thing where I think, oh, well, people are going to look at me weird if I wear that. Yet I'll go out in a full vampiric outfit and not think anything of it. But it's that insecurity and it's that stigma, which I technically shouldn't have about myself. Like, I look at certain things, like this actually happened when our very first, it was the second episode. So the second episode, I was watching our YouTube video to kind of look at, the different ways that we can improve the set, like what we can do to kind of change the way that it's presented. And all I kept doing was staring at myself, kind of going, oh my gosh, I look so like plump, like I was just like, oh, they really do. The camera really does add 10 pounds. Like I was feeling so insecure about the way that I looked in that video, which at the end of the day, I didn't look horrible. And I mean, obviously with our set, we have a very casual feel to our podcast, but I couldn't help but feel super insecure. It was the weirdest thing about it. And I think that in and of itself is a very dangerous game to play, is when we start judging ourselves so harshly, because all of us are beautiful people, like whether it comes in various shapes, sizes, forms, whatever it is, there is beauty in every single person. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you identify as. I don't care like what male, female. There is beauty in every single person. And that's why today's episode is so important to us. And Red Rebecca actually is very, very passionate about this topic. So I'm going to let her speak on this for a little bit, because this is something that I think is it's not talked about often. And I think it's very important that we do discuss this today. So
yeah, I've had multiple like assignments in school where I've given speeches on body positivity and basically just how the diet culture has really screwed with us. And I'll give a little bit of a background on myself, because I've been in both situations where I have been extremely thin and not from healthy means, and then now I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum where I am big, like I am in a bigger body. And there is a very clear difference in how people treat you when you are no longer in a smaller body. And it is just kind of cruel and unfair, and it really gets to me to where I'll probably say this right now. I probably won't watch the YouTube videos. I can't do it. I can't look at myself. People will take pictures of me. I'll go out and hang out with friends and we'll pose for a group picture, and they'll show me the phone, and I don't know like if you guys can unfocus your eyes to where you can like make things look blurry. I will unfocus my eyes when I look at the phone screen so I can look like I'm looking at the pictures that someone just took of me, but I'm not seeing it because I can't do it. I will not go and I will not look at myself in a dressing room mirror. I cannot do it because I will spiral for the rest of the day.
And that is something... so how do you know what the outfit looks on you if you don't look at yourself in the mirror?
I have my husband look and tell me if it looks good or not.
You just blindly trust your husband.
I blindly trust literally him. Or I just wear dresses that kind of don't really have form, like really flowy dresses, because I don't want to be aware of what my body looks like. I want zero awareness of it. I can't do it. And I realized that it's clearly not a healthy mindset, and it's body dysmorphia for me. Um, and I am really working on trying to get past that. I'm really trying to focus on my style and what I feel comfortable in. And right now it is those, like, cottage core fantasy dresses is what I feel the happiest in. And makeup. I really, really enjoy makeup. I feel very confident in makeup abilities, and I like doing fun eyeliner looks. Like, I'll draw flowers on my eyes and stuff like that. But it is a weird society that we live in, especially being a woman with diet culture. Like, any work environment that I've been in that has been a majority female, it is almost no time at all until people start talking about what diet they're on. Or, God
Yeah.
forbid, around the holidays, if there are any treats brought into the office, it's, I really shouldn't, I really don't need this. Like, it's the holidays. And then, being a bigger person myself, I forbid myself from being the first person to go up and grab one of those treats, because I know that's going to be what's expected of me, to be the first person to go up there and grab one of those treats. And
Yep.
it sucks. It sucks to live this way. But my husband, who is a thinner guy, he's like, that's stupid. No one thinks that. I'm like, you don't understand until you've been in a bigger body, that you're not the first person in line to get food, and you're not the first person to go back for seconds. Those are,
Yep.
like, basic ground rules, because it's going to be what's expected of you. Or if you're just sitting down there eating a salad, people are going to be like, "Oh, are you trying to lose weight?" But, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
thinner people don't get that. They don't get that kind of criticism for
Which
for
I
what you
which,
eat.
which I can agree to that, because obviously being on the thinner side of things, especially looking at me, you tend to, like, it's just kind of like, oh, she's eating a salad because she's keeping her figure, which, no, I just genuinely enjoy salads. Like, it's like it there's a very big stigma about the way that people look at you depending on the body shape that you're in, and you're not wrong. And the biggest thing with me is that I gained a lot of weight during my pregnancy, which was such a weird effect. So I actually did not gain a lot of weight when I was pregnant, but I gained a lot of weight after the pregnancy, because obviously I was nursing and things like that, which, when you're nursing, you tend to eat more because your body is obviously fueling you and the baby. Um, and that was one of the hardest things for me to accept. And the biggest thing about me is that I have never been a certain size, and I will keep my size out of this thing, just because obviously there that can kind of sometimes come across very negatively, and I want to keep this
Mhm.
episode very positive. So I have never been a certain size before in my entire life, and I was borderlining on that size. And that was the point where it started getting to me, which, appearance wise, I still looked very thin. I still looked somewhat in shape. And for me, it was the hardest thing for me personally to realize that that's where my body was going. And it's funny because I remember looking back on that time and seeing the pictures of me from back then versus the pictures of me now. And the difference that I personally see in myself was, I was so hard on myself. But yet everybody else around me was like, "No, you look great. Like, you're super thin and blah." And I'm like, "No, no." I literally had the Mean Girls moment where I was looking in the mirror going, this is wrong with my body. That's wrong with my body. I need to fix this. And it was because I was so used to always being the thin, in shape, very toned up girl, that when I was starting to let that go after having become a mom, it it completely wrecked my mentality. And it's because I put that pressure on myself because of the way society always looked at me. I was always the pretty popular, like, very thin. And when I started, I guess, gaining the weight after the pregnancy, I was so hard on myself. And it's not right. Like, no matter what body shape you're in, there is beauty to everything. And I'm going to keep emphasizing that through this episode, because at the end of the day, like when I look back on myself at that weight, I was still very pretty. Like, and I mean, you girls are very, very pretty. And I've told you this before. I did not know the you back then. And you guys have shown me pictures of, like, you know, when you guys were on the skinnier side. Pardon if that's the wrong term to be using. But at the end of the day, like, I will be honest with you, in my personal opinion, you guys are more beautiful now. Because one, your bodies went through something absolutely beautiful because you guys are moms. And two, to me, I did not know the you that was back then. So to me, the people you are now is way more beautiful to me than any of the, like, than you guys back then, because I don't know that person. And to me, the beauty that comes from you guys just as you are now triumphs everything. Look wise, personality wise. I mean, that, like, I really can't stand the idea that it's, oh, you have to be thin, you have to be toned, you have to do this. Like,
The
no,
body
you really
image
don't.
has been so skewed today. I mean, social media
Mm-hmm.
has a lot to do with it, but I mean, it's
Oh
been
yeah.
around even since before then. You know, I
Yep.
remember just looking at magazines, standing in the checkout line at the
TVs. Yep.
supermarket,
Mm-hmm.
and it is, I don't think that anyone truly knows what healthy looks like anymore,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
how individualized it is. Like my fitness journey got so much better when I stopped trying to be something that I am not destined to be. I wanted to be
Right.
the lean, mean cardio machine, and that's just not me. My ancestors were not the runners of messages between villages. We were the people who were slinging potato sacks.
Heck
So
yeah.
that is what my predestined body type is. I can build muscle. I can lift weights. I can be strong, and that is
Mm-hmm.
what I started leaning into, and that is when my fitness journey has become a lot better. I'm not going to be, you know, the typical Instagram fitness model.
Right.
That's not me. And also because that is also not my full-time job, where some of these people it is their full-time job.
Yep.
But my healthy isn't going to be, it's not going to be your healthy, it's not going to be Bailey's healthy, it's not going to be my husband's healthy. Everyone's healthy is different, and I think that we have, as a society, have lost sight of that. We've become so wrapped up in this prepackaged idea of what beauty is.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I,
and it's,
I agree.
yeah, it's very true. Like, and it's like I said, like back then, I was expecting myself to continue being the skinny kind of, just, you know, very toned type, because I'm not like you. I can't build muscle like crazy. I absolutely can't. And my biggest thing is that I can tone, though. I can definitely tone. Like, my body is just built to be just toned. And but I will also never be as strong as you either, because I can't build that muscle mass. And if I do, I am pushing my body beyond an unhealthy point at that at that level. And you brought up a very good point where, you know, there's different kinds of healthy. Like, the one thing that people tend to forget is that there's also medical reasons as to why a
Hmm.
person cannot thin down. It's not just a matter of because, oh, they're lazy and they don't want, because I know some bulkier people that literally are so strong and so fit, but they're a little bit on the, like, larger side of things. And it's mostly because of medical reasons. Like, their body
Hmm.
literally cannot just process that out. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're unfit. And just by looking at somebody and immediately judging them and just assuming, oh, that's what you're gonna like, you're gonna fit this mold,
Hmm.
it's a horrible way of looking at somebody. It really is. And
And I've had to build a huge defense mechanism around that. Like my
mm-hmm,
sense of humor has really developed because I have the mindset of, oh, if I can make them laugh and if I can make them happy, maybe they won't notice that I'm fat. And as terrible as that sounds, but there is actually this song that I really relate to that I'll probably share in our chat later. It's called The Fat Funny Friend. And
mm-hmm,
that is really the mold I fit, where maybe if I make someone laugh, they won't be looking at me, but they'll be thinking of what I'm saying rather than this predetermined, oh, she's lazy. Oh, she's a slob. Oh, this is, I'm going to think of all the bad things that I can think of just because of the way she looks.
Yeah. Which is funny because I literally look at your pictures and I'm always like, my God, like she's so pretty. I mean, like,
yep, I think that every time too.
Yeah. Like I can't ever look at her pictures and not have that mentality because like the contrast between like your skin and your hair and just your eyes. Like oh my God, her eyes are so freaking captivating. Like it is insane. Like I'm not lying, and I know that this is gonna make me sound so like weird right now, but I legitimately could stare at your eyes all day. Like they are gorgeously beautiful. Yeah, exactly.
Just hold them up there so we can stare into your eyes. Get lost.
Yes, exactly.
Go blind,
just get lost in red Rebecca's eyes. Like it's just, and it's funny because like in order to get that look with me, I got to throw in red contacts for people to like stare at me and be like, what? Like, and but
are you gonna compel me?
Yeah, right? Exactly. Oh, I'll compare you, darling.
Oh gosh. We always end up with Astarion. I don't know.
I am the Astarion of the group. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know, that's true.
Yeah, but in all honesty though, like I'm pretty sure I either A, made half the internet crack up, or I just made half the internet go, oh my God. But yeah, so I mean, but in all honesty though, like I'm not lying, like every single time I see your pictures, like that is what runs through my head. But then on your side, you're just like, oh, I hate this picture. I'm just like, why? And it really goes back to us being hard on ourselves. Like on the topic of makeup, because you mentioned it earlier, there's one stigma around it that I really would like us all to get over. It's the idea that we dress up for the men.
Yeah. They don't appreciate it. God.
Yeah, they don't appreciate it. They don't understand what goes into it. They don't care.
No.
And here's my biggest thing about it. And when it comes to dating advice, this is my number one piece of dating advice. Don't go for the guy that you have to dress up for. Go for the one that you can get dressed down for and he still calls you beautiful. Mm-hmm. That is my biggest piece of advice, because the person that you are when you dress up is very different than the person you are when you're dressed down. The guy that can still look at you, still be attracted to you, or girl, or, whatever you're into, can look at you and still see the beauty in you in your most natural form, is the person that you should be going after, because that is your true beauty. And the person that can still see that and see all those flaws that you see in yourself and still find you beautiful is the person that you should be going after. Because the biggest thing about it is they are looking at you in your purest form, which is the one thing that you have to remember, is that you never want to be the masked person around the person you are supposed to spend your rest of your life with, to share a relationship with. It is just not good for your mental health to do that.
Yeah, because I see those posts like, oh, you got to take them swimming on the first date, take their makeup off. And I'm like, if you think that my eyelids are naturally shiny and gold, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Exactly.
Yes. But on that note too, the one thing that I will say is that when I do choose to put my makeup on, it's for me. Because I want to feel I guess the best way I could put it is I just want to feel like a princess for the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, as we should.
Yeah, I want to feel like a princess for the day. So I'm going to dress up a little more than usual just to give myself that little boost of just me feeling pretty, which is okay. And trust me, you don't need makeup to feel pretty. I mean, I get told this all the time. You don't need the makeup. I don't care whether I need the makeup. It's not for you. It's for me. I want the makeup. And I mean, I'm one of those girls that do like to play with my makeup. I mean, that's not bad, but is it my reason for being confident? Is it my reason for going out is to do my makeup? No, it's for me. And that's the one thing that people have to remember. And I appreciate Bugbee so much for this, because her daughter will sometimes do her makeup with us, like when we're getting ready for a concert or something like that. But she is very good at emphasizing to her daughter, you do not need this. Like she finds the very, yes, she finds the very fine balance in which she lets her daughter have the fun with makeup, but she makes sure to emphasize that you don't need it to be pretty. And it's something that, especially at least with me, that is something I grew up with. So a lot of the insecurities I had to work through was getting over the fact that I need makeup to be pretty.
Yeah.
And it was a mentality that was very hard to fight growing up, was because I felt like I always had to look a certain way. And when I say this, like, I don't, like, me and my mom, we are so close. Like, I love my mom to death. She is my best friend in this entire world. Sorry, Bugbee. Sorry, Red Rebecca, but mom wins.
But you're allowed to put your mom over me.
Yeah. The only one I'm allowed to put over you.
I mean, I love your mom too, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like, my mom, she is a beautiful person, and I owe so much of my personality and the way that I've been raised to her. But my mom also, shocker here, has zero filter when it comes to her and what she's thinking. And I remember, like, the very first, like, time I had seen her after my pregnancy, my mom just looked at me and she goes, "Oh, you've gained weight." And I'm like, Mom, like, I literally just pushed out a baby 2 days ago. Like, yeah, like, it's, and I mean, and I know my mom didn't mean anything by it, but that's the kind of thing I grew up with, where she just says whatever comes to her mind. And I'm over here going, oh, now I'm feeling insecure. Thanks. Like, and I know she doesn't mean it to do that to me, but she does kind of have that air about her. So growing up, I always emphasized the way I looked because I didn't want to hear those comments from my mother. Like, I want her to tell me, "Oh, you're so pretty," and things like that, because her opinion is very important to me. But yeah, sometimes when she takes off that filter and she's just like, "Oh, hey," but
yeah.
it's a rough one, especially when it comes close, or especially when it comes from somebody you're close to, is even harder, because they'll say things not thinking it's harmful, and they think they're just saying it to, like, because they care about you, but
right.
they don't realize the mental effect that it has on them and like on the person.
Like my grandma has cancer, and she posted a picture of herself on Facebook, and she doesn't really post full body pictures very often, but she did. And like, cancer and cancer treatments, it makes you lose weight. And so many of her friends were commenting, "Oh my God, you look great, you look fantastic." And I'm just over here saying, she's sick, she's ill. And that is just where we've come as a society, where people just, they have no problem commenting on your body. And so I have this rule: even if someone, like, if they've lost weight, if there's any change in their body, I don't comment on it. I will not comment. Because some people do, they think that they're coming from a good place, saying, "Oh my gosh, you look great," but you don't know what that person has gone through to look that way. They could be sick. They might have an eating disorder. They could have, exercise, and they're being healthy and they're losing weight. I don't know the reason behind it. I'm not going to say anything, because then those comments will stick in their head, like, "Oh, you think I look great now? What did you think of what I used to look like? Did I not look great then?" And so I've just, a good rule of thumb for me is, if it's not something that someone has done, like if it took them 2 minutes to fix, like if it's a different way they did their makeup, I will comment on that. I'll say, "Oh my gosh, that was a great job that you did." But if it's obviously something that took a lot longer to change, I'm not going to comment.
It's funny because I don't like that way of saying things, is when you compliment the way somebody looks. I hate it when people are like, "You look really great today." And I'm like, so every other
do I
day
not look great on the other days?
Yeah, like like, and if you actually get to be around me like more, and if you guys notice, especially with you two, I always say, oh my gosh, you look amazing, or you look beautiful, or I never add a time. Like, to me, it just never makes sense, like, why you would add a time at the end of that sentence. And maybe that's just my personal OCD kicking in, but I am very, very adamant about when I compliment somebody, I just state the compliment. So, like, to me, it never meant, like, it never made sense. Oh, I loved your outfit yesterday, so you don't like my outfit today? Like, it's just, I mean, it's just like, oh, I love that look you had, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's just like, and I mean, granted, like, there are some times where you absolutely can't avoid that, where, you know, you're just generally having a conversation going, oh yeah, that blazer you wore on Tuesday looked amazing. But it's just like, you know, but when you're talking to somebody in the present and you're just like, oh, you look great today, like, it really makes me stop and think. And maybe that's not normal for everybody, I don't know. Like, maybe, you know, to some people they don't even think about it, but to me it's just like, I feel like that little today is just so unnecessary, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it can add to the insecurity without meaning to add to the insecurity. And I know that people don't mean it in a negative way, it's just depending on who you're talking to, they might not process it the same way.
Yeah,
so
I make sure
me,
to be specific if it's something like, oh my gosh, I love your eye makeup. Or
yeah,
like, I love the way that you did your eyeliner today. Like, I try not to leave it general, like, oh my gosh, you look fantastic today. But if it's something that I can tell, like, someone tried a new technique, like they were sitting down, they were putting some thought about it in the mirror that morning, I'm going to compliment it and be like, you did a great job.
Yeah. But then you also don't add today. Like, it's just, you know?
Yeah, well,
like,
I mean, I'm specific, like, oh, I mean, I have to say, like, oh, I love your eyeliner today. You know,
yeah.
like, I got to be specific, like, oh, I love your eyeliner. Okay, what time? Like,
Yeah.
how do you like how I did it? You know?
Yeah. And again, I mean, that kind of thing, like I said earlier, is very situational. But to me specifically, I like to very much leave that out as much as I can, because I want them to also know that when I'm complimenting you, it's you as a whole. It's not just today. It's just something about your outfit stood out to me today, which is why I complimented it specifically today. But I'm not going to emphasize it as today, if that makes sense. Like, I literally will look at a person and tell them, you look amazing. I love your outfit. Leave it at that. Like, I don't want to say today, because then it makes them wonder, like, oh, okay, so even though I've been trying, because it goes back to that situation where you don't know if that person has been trying to dress up all week, you know, or you don't know that it is a person looking this way because they've been trying something new with their look or their outfit. And I never want to discourage that, because I am like that. Like, when I go shopping for clothing, and obviously you guys know me specifically, I will buy a bunch of bulk clothing all at once and then do my different outfits, and then I'll wear them throughout the week. And to me, I like to see what looks best on me, because I do a lot of online shopping. I don't like going in stores to do my shopping. So I never know how certain pieces of clothing fit on me. And so when I try them out, then to me, I feel that it's a week long period of me trying these different looks and outfits. And so when it's just like, oh, you look great today, I'm just kind of like, so all of my other outfits this week were crap. Like, I just like, you know, and I like, and that's a personal thing with me. It has nothing to do with anybody else, but I overthink that way, because that's the way my anxiety works. And thanks, Vincent. You know, I didn't realize I had to have you get a fashion degree, but
I'm just picturing like Vincent going to fashion school.
Exactly. Like, you know, but it makes me so insecure, because I'm so proud of the way that I look, and I'm very proud of knowing what looks good on me, that when I hear today, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, so I looked like crap every other day. Like, you know, it's just, and that is really on me and my mentality. But when it comes to makeup and it comes to outfits and it comes to really just looking good overall, I make it a very key focus that it's for myself. I'm never trying to impress anybody else. And I know that's so hard I know that a lot of people are going to be looking at this and they're going to say, oh, well, that's easy for you to say because of the way I look. But it isn't easy for me to say that because on the opposite end of the spectrum, skinny people, as weird as it sounds, also have a very different stigma about them where they're expected to eat the salads, where they're expected to not do this. And granted, those are minor things in the grand scheme of overall look of health and stuff like that. But at the same time, I also get the comments where it's like when I do order a plate of like fried chicken and gravy, people are looking at me like, you're really gonna eat that? And it's just like, yeah, why? What's wrong with it? I'll smash like 8 rolls of sushi and people will look at me and be like, I can't believe you ate that much. And I'm like,
I always overeat sushi.
Like, but see, that's the really dumb thing is that if you are on the larger side of like the body, like weight scale, people judge you for eating too much. But then you're on the skinnier side of things, people still judge you for eating too much. Like there is no in between in that spectrum anywhere, because whenever I go out to eat with people and I don't get a salad, people are looking at me like, oh my gosh, you're really gonna eat fried chicken right now? It's like, yes, because it's delicious and I really want something unhealthy. Is there something wrong with that? But then you're the person on the opposite end of the spectrum. And then you order the fried chicken and people are like, of course you order the fried chicken. But then you order the salad and people are looking at you like, oh, are you trying to lose weight? Like, what? It's like, how about we just stop judging what people eat and just let them enjoy their flipping meal?
Food is a huge comfort area for me.
Exactly.
I love to cook.
And I love eating your cooking.
Me too.
And it comes from, like, I won't delve too much into it, but growing up, there was a time in our family's lives where my dad was a single dad with 3 kids. And on one income that really was not easy at all. And there were times where we always didn't have food in the house. And sometimes my dad would go several days without eating to ensure that my siblings and I did have food. So my grandparents would come up on the weekends and they would bring treats and snacks with them. So that food became a big comfort for me. It became like something that we didn't always have, and those treats weren't something that we always had. So now as an adult, I kind of have that panic of, oh my gosh, this might not be something that I'm always going to have access to, so I got to eat it while I can. And like, or if I'm feeling sad, like, oh, I have a treat, I can go eat it, it's going to make me feel better. And so some people don't always see that. They always just see like oh, she's getting, the cake and she's doing all this baking and, of course she looks the way that she does. But they don't, it's just a huge comfort for me. And it's just something that I've struggled to find balance with, and that it's always going to be a struggle, but I'm working to get there.
Oh, but you did mention something really good about that, which is the food guilt. It is the hardest thing that I had to get over. And it's because we grow up, especially the 90s babies, we grow up with the phrase, well, the kids in Africa are probably so hungry, so you better finish your food. Like, and it's just like, why do we say that? Like, why is that something that we tell our children to get them to eat their dinner? Like, it's just and literal food guilt. Like with you, it's the case of this might not be something I always have access to. And so there is literally something in every single person that literally causes them to overeat, whether that's, oh, you're wasting that food because that's what you've been told your whole life growing up, or it's well, I'm worried I won't have access to this. And it's one of those things that was the hardest thing for me to get over, was the food guilt. But now I'm luckily enough of a good mental state where I can know I'm full and I can push my plate away. And I think I mentioned this in a previous episode where I get full, I'm done eating. I don't care how much is left on my plate. I don't care. I don't care if I'm going to finish it. I don't care if I'm going to take it home. I'm done eating. I will stop eating. And I don't feel bad about
myself eating to a point where I have to identify there's a point where I'm no longer eating because I need to eat. I'm eating and I'm pushing myself to take the next bite. And I have to get better at recognizing where that point is and pushing the food aside. And I also have to get better with telling myself that food does not have a moral designation. Food is not good and food is not bad. And I have to stop even telling that to my kid, like, oh, that's bad for you. Because it's not possible for a food to be bad. Food has a different purpose. There is food that is fun. There is food that is tasty. There is food that is there to serve your body and help your body function better. But food is not good and it is not bad. They just have a different purpose.
And it's so funny because my mother is actually a nutrition specialist. So growing up, we always had the balanced diets, the not eating a lot of chips or cookies or sweets or things like that. And the biggest thing about it is that when we were younger, I can see why my mother had us eating a certain way, because obviously our bodies are growing, are developing, things like that. As an adult, she tells me now, yeah, don't stop yourself from eating anything. She's like, that's ridiculous. She goes, just enjoy. She goes, but moderation is key to everything. And my mom, super skinny. Like if she honestly didn't let her like gray grow out, she could look like my older sister. And it's funny because like even now I go over to her house, there are more sweets in her house than I have ever seen in the 33 years of me having grown up with my mother. Like she bakes cookies. She literally has all these chocolates. Like if I want sweets, I just go over to my mother's. Like it's just it's just how she is. But growing up, she never really let us have those. And now as an adult, I don't have a giant sweet tooth. Like, yeah, occasionally I'll crave a sweet after eating something really salty. But, you know, at the end of the day, I never stop myself from eating anything. And it's because I don't have that food guilt. Like I don't stop myself from eating something I want to eat because I'm worried about how it's going to affect my body, but I do things in moderation. And that's the big key to everything.
And I know sorry.
No. I was just saying, like, I know that for some people it's a comfort thing. And then so they'll look at it and they'll be like, well, I can't really stop eating because it makes me feel better. That's perfectly fine. Just adjust what it is that you're eating, you know, like it's, and I know that's a lot easier said than done. I'm not by any way trying to say like, oh yeah, that's super easy to do. No, it's hard, but just like anything else that you want for yourself, you need to work for it. But what were you going to say?
I was going to say that that's something that I'm trying to change with my kid. She has constant access to her treats and to like her Halloween candy, Christmas candy, stuff like that. We've never limited it to like, oh, you can have 1 or 2 pieces a day, or you can have, you know, like 3 or 4 cookies per day. It is always available. And I've noticed that she will make the choices for herself where she doesn't feel like she always needs it. She's not constantly grabbing cookies out of the pantry or snacking on candy. She understands, and she's understood it for herself that it is a treat. She doesn't feel that panic of it's not always there, so I need to eat it when it is. She's just naturally limited herself to it. Yeah. And I'm like, that is the mentality that I wish I had growing up for myself. And I'm so glad that she can have that for herself. And same with sitting down and eating food. I've let herself notice for herself when she is full. I don't sit there and say, no, you need to finish your plate, or no, you need to finish that. She's learned to tell me, I'm satisfied. I don't want any more. And sometimes she'll get sneaky and she'll say, oh, I'm satisfied. Can I have dessert? Like that's not gonna fly, kid. If you're hungry enough to eat dessert, you need to eat what you want off your plate. before we move on to dessert. And so I've had to tell her food is not a punishment, it is not a reward, it is there to nourish you.
Yep. And that's a big thing that I emphasize with my boys too, is that especially when it comes to trying different kind of foods, I always tell my boys, I need you to at least try it. But if you say you don't like it, I'm not going to make you eat it, but you need to at least try it.
Yes,
and because that's the big thing with me.
Like.
Yes, and that's the big thing with me is that growing up, I never really had that. I was just kind of forced to eat whatever was on my plate. And so for me, I hated that mentality. So I'm very hesitant now as an adult to ever try anything new. And you guys have seen this with me whenever we go places. I order the same thing from the menu every single time because I know it's what I like. And it's the biggest thing with me about that is that I don't want that fear in my boys. I want them to be able to try new things. I want them to look at something and be like, I'm going to try that today. And it's just because I want them to be able to experience things, which is something me personally, I don't do because I'm just like, I find the one thing on the menu and I'm like, that is officially my permanent order every time I come to this place. And it's just hesitant from that food guilt that I grew up with. And that's a very dangerous mindset to have to instill into people, is making them feel guilty about the things that you eat. And I don't like doing that to people. Like anytime somebody's like, oh, I'm going to order dessert, I'm just like, yes, do it. Like order that dessert and make sure it is exactly what you want, because why make and I really cannot wrap my head around it. I don't understand why you would make somebody feel guilty. Like the one thing I hate hearing is whenever I go off the reservation and basically decide I'm going to not order a salad for lunch, because and truthfully, I do actually majority eat salads for lunch because they're so easy to put together
Sometimes
and pack as a lunch. Yeah. And then like, depending on what kind of toppings you put on them, I have a different meal every day. Granted, they're salads, but again, different kind of salad. But the one time I don't order a salad, somebody's always looking at me going, really? You're going to eat that? And I'm just like, yes, because it sounds delicious and it's not a salad. Like, sorry, you know,
life is short.
And I hate that stigma that, oh, if you're skinny, you should be eating salads and super healthy. It's like, no, you shouldn't. And then it's like, if you're overweight, it's just like, oh yeah, well, not overweight, but if you're on the larger body side, people are looking at you like, why are you eating that? It's like, how about we just let people eat?
Yeah. When I went out to lunch at my new job for the first time, we went to a restaurant and I was the first one to order. And I ordered a burger and fries. And then they went around the table. Everyone else ordered a salad. And I had never felt more embarrassed in my life. I was like, I ordered the wrong thing. And now they think that I'm a slob and that I'm gross and, and it's just like, why do we think this way? It's so ridiculous. And I'm so sick of it, honestly. Like, I just want to eat in peace.
My biggest takeaways with this topic is that you are who you are as a person. And no matter what your body type looks like, you are a beautiful human being. And in all honesty, like, you gave me this advice, Rebecca, and it has stayed with me ever since, because there was a point in my life where I lost the confidence to be able to do my makeup crazy, to look like a vampire and feel completely normal in my own skin. And you had said something to me, which I think is very important for our listeners and viewers, is it is all about your confidence. When it comes to your wild makeup, when it comes to your vampiric looks, or when it comes to your concert day looks, or whatever look it is that you go for, it is all about your confidence. Like, I wear some of the craziest outfits to work, and I am so confident in the way that I look. I don't care whether somebody compliments my outfit for the day. I don't care whether they do compliment my outfit for the day. The point is, I know I look good. And as long as I know I look good, I am perfectly happy. And I've noticed that when it comes to people being very comfortable in their own skin, there is just an aura and an air about them that makes them look really good. And it's just something natural about them. Like, it's not anything specific that they're doing. It's not anything that they specifically did that day. Like, I literally will see women in like leggings and then like Ugg boots and then a sweater on with their hair in a messy bun. And I think they are gorgeous because they are confident enough to go out into the world that way. But to them, that is their messy, lazy day look. And I'm just like, I really wonder what the heck you look like when you're dressed up. Like, like if this is your lazy look, you know, there is a beauty to people, and it all comes from your confidence level. And as long as you are comfortable in your own skin, everybody else is just going to fall in line. And you would be very surprised at how, and trust me, there are also some people out there, and I might get a little uproar for this, for saying this, but there are some people that are a little too confident in themselves that personality wise, you really shouldn't be confident in yourself. Like, just because you have such an ugly personality, like that's what I mean by that. Versus like the way they look, beautiful person, but personality wise, I'm like, you need to tone back your confidence. Like, it's just like, it is making you look ugly is like what my issue is. And
it's funny, like, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'll say sometimes, and I did this with my husband the other day, where I just told myself, I was like, dang, I feel fat. I mean, like, you know, like when you are bigger, you'll tell yourself like, oh my gosh, I feel fat. I feel like I am fat. And then
I have those days and I'm not.
Like I tell myself that, and then my husband goes, no, don't say that. You're so beautiful. I'm like, I never said I wasn't beautiful. I just said, since when does fat mean I'm not beautiful? I can be both. I can be both. I am both.
Exactly. Yeah, and in all honesty, like, to me personally, I don't think your weight or your size is what determines your beauty. Like, the reason why I say that there are some people that are too confident in themselves and they need to reel it back in a little bit, I do actually believe your personality plays a lot into your beauty. Like, I know some of the most gorgeous people, they are complete jerks. And I'm just like, you are such an ugly person. Like, and I look at them and I'm like, yeah, you're not really all that good looking. Like, and it's mostly the way they treat people. It's mostly the way that they like hold themselves. And that's what I mean about that era and confidence that people tend to have about them. But I will see some people that by society standards are not very good looking, but I see them as some of the most beautiful people in the world. Like, to me, I look at them and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, I want to be them. Like, when I was talking about Rebecca earlier with her photos, I'm like, man, I really wish I could look that good. Like, just the way that she looks. Huh?
Said you do.
Oh, well, thank you. But like, literally, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, even me, like, being technically society's standard of what would be pretty, I don't feel that way about myself, by the way. I just want to make that clear. But I look at you and I'm like, I really want to be you. Like, I'm like, you're so pretty. Like, I want your hair, like, style, and I want to know how you do your makeup. And like, I'm like, how did you find that outfit? Like, I literally look at you, and to me, you are a standard of pretty. Like, I admire it. It's amazing. And it's just, I get so passionate about this topic because I'm like, you know, we need to just be better human beings. That's really what it comes down. We need to love ourselves. And
BTS once said, love yourself.
Yes. And that's the biggest thing about it is when I say that it is your confidence level that adds to your beauty, it is a very important part. And I know that your beauty in general tends to play into your confidence level, but I think that that's something that we as people just kind of need to understand. Everybody has their flaws. I don't care whether you're skinny, on the larger side, in between, or, you know, whatever shape. To me, every single person is going to find something wrong with their body because we are the largest, we are the most critical of ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that we have the right to look at other people and go, okay, that person needs a makeover. No, that person really doesn't need a makeover. That person is beautiful just the way they are. Leave them alone. You know, like,
right.
I think we need to be kinder to people and to ourselves and be more accepting that, and me especially coming from a faith standpoint of things. I look at it and I'm like, you know, God made me this way. I'm going to accept the beauty for what it is. And I treat people that same way because I think that they are beautiful just naturally. And I think that's something that we need to start focusing on rather than trying to be the pinnacle of what we think is pretty. Like, it's just not me. And it shouldn't be other people either. We should really learn to love ourselves at the end of the day. And whatever you have to do to get there, please do it, because you deserve to understand that you are a beautiful person. And this is me specifically talking to the supporters of this podcast. You are a beautiful person. And whatever issues or images you may have with your body, everybody has something similar to what you're dealing with. And at the end of the day, I want you to know specifically, you are a beautiful person. And I want you to drill that through your head. So I'm going to say it 3 more times and you can all say it with me. You are a beautiful person. You are a beautiful person. And you are a very beautiful person. Like, I want everybody to get that.
Tell yourself that.
Yes. Tell yourself that every flipping morning, every flipping night, however many times you
Bloody
need to
Mary
get
will
it
agree with
through
you.
your head. Yes.
Bloody Mary.
Yes. And if Red Rebecca's with you, Emily will fight her too.
I've been pretty quiet this episode. I know Adela and Rebecca are very, very passionate on this topic, so I've just kind of let them take the lead. I have definitely had my own struggles with my body image and just feeling comfortable in my own skin. I was definitely quite a bit skinnier, I guess I could say, before I had my daughter. And then after she was born, my body just changed drastically. I had to have a C-section with her, and so I have a little pooch that hangs over where my C-section was, and there is no amount of working out or toning or anything that's going to make that go away. It's just going to be there. I mean, sure, I could get surgery to, remove it, but 1, I ain't got that kind of money, and 2, I just don't really care that much. So at this point in my life, as my daughter gets...
you shouldn't.
This is why I was letting them talk, because I don't want to sound conceited either, but I have found my confidence, and it's hard for me to relate to a lot of those things, because now in this day, I am very confident in who I am, very confident in my skin. I see myself in the mirror and I'm not like, ugh, like I used to be. And so there is a way to get there. It definitely takes work. It takes time. But there is a way to get there, because I definitely was not like this all the time.
So with that though, what would you advise for people to get there? Like, what did you personally do?
Okay, so for me, it all goes back to my daughter, and I want her to be comfortable in her own skin. And if she sees me putting myself down, then she's going to end up with that same mindset if at some point her body does change, which genetically, she's mine, her body will probably change. And I just couldn't allow myself to be that example for her. And I started doing this when she was 2, and now she's 6. So it's been years that I have worked on just accepting myself as I am. Do I work out and try and be healthy? And if I lose weight, great. Yeah, sure. But I can honestly tell you right now, I don't even know how much I weigh. I don't get on the scale. I don't care what that number is. I live my life to feel good. I eat what makes me feel good. I work out when I want to. I don't force myself to because I have ADHD. If I force myself to do anything, it ain't happening.
Not gonna do it. Nope.
So I eat what I want. I try to make healthier decisions when I can, but I also don't care about what other people think. And that's a big thing that I'm working on with my daughter as well. She is very concerned about what other people think. And I'm just trying to break that from her. She wore a dress to school one day and one of the boys didn't like it. And I'm like, "Do you like it?" She's like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Then it doesn't matter what he cares."
Yep.
It doesn't matter. You wear what you want to wear because you like it.
Oh my gosh, the other day. Sorry. So,
no,
I'm sorry.
You're okay. Go ahead.
Just thinking of a funny story of my kid who she was walking down the stairs and she was wearing an outfit that really did not match. In my opinion, it did not match. And I was like, that's a kind of, that doesn't match, kid. Like, it was just kind of one of those things. And I regret saying it when I did. But she looks at me and she goes, "Good thing it's not your outfit." And she just keeps walking down the stairs.
Yes.
Your daughter is so sassy. I love her so much.
So
yes,
funny.
I am just trying to build a confidence in my daughter by being an example for her. I feel like that's the best way to do it. I've always thought leading by example is the best way to do anything. So I'm just trying to be the person that I want her to be. And that was a big thing for me to then accept myself as I am. And when we go out to eat at lunch, do I order 15 tacos? No. Do I order 6 tacos? Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. But that you actually brought up something really good right there too, is with working out, I don't weigh myself either. The way that I've kind of gotten over the pressure of working out was I stopped giving myself a goal weight. And I know, and again, disclaimer for the episode, we are not professionals in any way, shape, or form. This is just our personal experiences we're throwing out there and the way that we've overcome some of our mental health challenges. There's the disclaimer for the episode. We're just gonna start hiding the disclaimer in various parts.
It's just
gonna
be in random spots of every episode.
Just random spots.
They're just gonna have a shirt made with it.
Yeah, disclaimer.
We are not professionals.
Yeah, we are not professionals. So the way that I've gotten over the workout stigma with me is I don't give myself a goal weight. I give myself just a goal to do with my body. So in my case right now, I just ordered a VR, new VR. So I got the MetaQuest for Christmas, the MetaQuest 3 for Christmas, because I wanted to do this new workout program called Supernatural VR, and we're not sponsored, so don't think that I'm plugging a sponsorship here. I actually purchased it with my own money, found it on my own kind of thing, because I like playing video games. I don't like working out. It's just something I could not get over. I cannot bring myself to a gym every single day or every single week, 3 times a day, like 3 times a week. I just can't do it. It just doesn't fit me. I just have such a negative stigma about gyms that I can't do it. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with gyms. Like, if that's what you prefer, I respect you a whole lot more because you actually can get yourself there. But for me, I need to work out without realizing I'm working out is my big thing. So I found this company called Supernatural VR, and basically they actually create workouts for the VR system, but they do it in a way where it's almost like Beat Saber, where you're like moving around and, things like that. And trust me, I play Beat Saber and I'm like sore the next day. Or, any of the archery games that they have on VR, I am super sore the next day. And I realized I'm getting a workout, not even really working out. And so when I found this company, I was like, oh, this looks amazing. So I wound up getting it for Christmas. And the beautiful thing about it, I'm not even working towards a goal weight. I'm literally I told myself my goal for working out, I just want to tone up. That's it. That's all I want to do. As long as I can see certain tones in my body, I've officially hit my goal. I don't care what I weigh. And
like Neil Newbon says, it's not about having, like a body that looks a certain way. It's about having a productive body.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And that's my biggest thing about it, is that for me, having 2 little boys, they're very high energy. I can't keep up with them right now. Like, I am so exhausted. And then on top of that, I also have an ankle injury that I can't run or do any high impact sports anymore. And so for me, I just need the energy to be able to keep up with them. And to me, like, having to tone up my body, I feel is going to make me a little more flexible and give me a little more ability to play with my boys and do a little of like the rougher wrestling with them and the few sports that I still can do. And to me, that is a functional body. I want to know that I can throw a baseball more than 5 times and just not feel like my arm is going to fly off. I want to have the ability to do these things, because especially my oldest son, he does t-ball. It's like, I want to be able to help him practice and get better. And in order to do that, I need to tone up my body to actually fit that kind of sport. So doing these VR workouts, I'm actually really interested to see what my results will be, but it is for myself. I'm not looking to do it because I want to lose weight. I'm looking to do it. And will I lose weight? Yes, that will naturally be a result of that, because that is the way
like
my personal body works. Yeah, it's just a side effect. Like, it's just the way my body works. Like, I will naturally just lose the weight, versus some people actually gain weight because muscle weighs more than like Bugby's the perfect me. And Red Rebecca. Like, you guys will gain weight when you're working out because you wind up building more muscle. And so for your guys' case, it's the opposite of what happens to me. And so it's a natural side effect, and it all depends on the way your body processes what you are doing. Either way, not a problem. Like, you are a beautiful person regardless of whatever outcome comes out of it. And to me, I think when it comes to working out, exactly like Red Rebecca said, because Neil Newbon said it, your body has to be functional. It has to work with your lifestyle and what you are doing as a person and what is important to you. It shouldn't matter whether you are skinny. It shouldn't matter whether you are on the heavier side of things. It doesn't matter. You are a beautiful person, and you need to have the confidence in yourself to know that no matter what you look like, there is beauty to be found within you, which is why I also say, don't go for the people you have to dress up for. Go for the ones you dress down for, because they are the ones that see the true beauty within you. Like, whenever the 3 of us hang out, Bugby and Red Rebecca, half the time we're in our pajamas. Like,
we are.
Yeah. Half the time we're in our pajamas. Like, we don't care. But yet,
you've seen me without eyebrows. Be honored.
Yeah, I have seen her with eyebrows, and you know what? She is still just as beautiful. And it's just the thing about it is that the reality of the situation, you are not going to be beautiful to everybody. To some people, I am a 10. To other people, I'm a negative number. Who knows? Like, I don't care at the end of the day. Either you find me pretty or you don't. It doesn't affect my life.
Beauty is subjective.
It is very subjective. And so I guarantee you, the people that you can dress down for are going to be the people that you should be worried about their opinion, because they see you for who you really are. And you just need to find those people. I'm telling you right now. I can't emphasize that enough. It is a very big passion point for me. Do not go for the people you have to dress up for. It drives me insane. I'm like, I'm not even going to lie. I almost want to go on a date with somebody. Granted, if I wasn't married, I would like to go on a date and show up in sweatpants and a t-shirt and just see how they react.
Social
if they look, social experiment. Just go on a date with somebody and show up in sweatpants and a t-shirt, my makeup not done, my hair just at its flattest, and just see how they react.
It's a funny story about my husband and I. Our first date, it was just at like this little diner. It was at a Steak and Shake back in Atlanta. And I was trying my best to, be polite and have good table manners. And just for some context, we were both in high school at this point, so we were both very young. And I was eating my chili cheese fries. I was trying to be like super delicate about it. And he leans over and he tells me, I am so glad you don't have good table manners. That's one less thing for me to worry about. I'm like, I was trying.
Oh
no. We were trying.
That backfired on you so hard.
Yes, it did. But immediately I was just like, all right, the gloves are coming off. This is me.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Honestly, I'm the type of person that when I was dating, I will order whatever the fork I feel like. I don't care if it's super garlicky. You're going to have to deal with it.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. If it sounds delicious and it's got a crap ton of garlic, oh well. But I am also a person that carries a toothbrush in my toothbrush and floss picks in my purse, just because I don't like the feeling of food residue in my mouth. It's just, but that's a personal preference. I, again, don't do it for people. Yeah, that's just a personal preference for me. But people I'd be on a date with, yeah, you'd never know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't care. I'm going to order the super garlicky tasting pasta. Yeah, but in all honesty, I know that this episode wasn't as funny as our normal ones are. I really just wanted to emphasize mostly on making sure that each and every one of you understand that you are just a beautiful person, and you really shouldn't let, and I know, again, so difficult to have to do versus say, don't let society decide what your beauty or what your worth is based off of the way that you look. It's just not worth sacrificing your mental health over it. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you that the people that find you beautiful, no matter what you look like at the end of the day, are the ones that truly matter to you. And they should be those people that truly matter to you. And regardless of whether the opinion is good or bad, you also have to understand that if they're telling you something like, hey, maybe you should consider not wearing this outfit because you kind of look like this, and this is not the social function for it, it's not because they don't appreciate the way you look. It's mostly that they're looking out for you, and they know you as a person would be mortified that you showed up in an outfit that is not appropriate for that function. But that's why I say those are the opinions that matter. And yes, that was speaking from experience. That little key side note was speaking from experience.
And my anxiety won't let that happen. I will ask everyone that's going, what are you wearing? What is the dress code? And then dress accordingly.
So here's the really funny part about that situation. This social function was taking place in Vegas. And so Vegas, there's a lot of different outfits you could go with. And so the one that I was planning to wear that night was actually it was semi, I guess, it was a little bit more on the cocktail side of dress kind of thing. And the person that was helping me with this outfit basically was like, you look beautiful, but that is not the outfit for this occasion. And it's one of those things where it was a very delicate line in trying to tell me, you look amazing, but you really should consider a different outfit just because it's not, the crowd will probably not appreciate it. And it had nothing to do with the way I looked. I look great in the dress, but it was not the kind of dress to be wearing to this function. And so to me, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, if you didn't warn me about that, I would have been absolutely mortified, and I would have shown up and I just would have been embarrassed. But see, if that came from anybody else other than that person, I would have looked at them and be like, who the heck are you to judge my outfit? Like, You don't get to tell me what I can and can't wear. But that's why I'm saying, like, when you build that community of people that you trust with the way that you look, it's because you know they have your best interests in heart. And so that's a very big key point for me on body positivity too, is also be willing to listen to the people that you know you can trust because they have your best interests in heart, because they see your true beauty. I mean, if I, God forbid, ever do something to my hair that really doesn't look good on me, I expect you ladies to straight up be like, what were you thinking?
you know we would.
Yeah, exactly. But see, that's the level of trust I've built in you guys, is because you've also seen me completely dressed down, like in my pajamas, hair completely disheveled, zero makeup on, and you all are like, oh, but you're so pretty still. I'm like, I don't feel pretty. Yeah. So, but you guys have earned, and that's a really good way of putting it. You have earned that right to give me that opinion about myself. That's the fair. Best way I could put that. You need to find the people that you give them the privilege to tell you things about yourself, because you don't deserve to have to listen to somebody that doesn't know you. And again, beautiful person. I will emphasize that to the end of this episode. One of you two has that line in the intro anyways, right? It's, you are loved, never alone. Oh, never mind. This one we should add, you are beautiful.
You're gonna change this.
Oh, you're talking about the outro. I'm
yeah, the outro.
You said intro. I was like,
oh, I'm an outro.
I'm like, I don't think any.
No, I'm sorry, outro. Sorry, outro. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
No. But in all honesty, I think we're going to probably just end it on that note, because I think I've drilled into them enough that they are beautiful people. I don't think I can go on with that anymore.
You're beautiful.
I could. Yeah, I could. But, you know, I feel so strongly about this topic. And obviously, Red Rebecca does too. And Bugbee is very confident in her own skin that she feels very strongly about it as well. But this is a very big passion topic for me, just because I want people to understand it is not about the way that you look, and you are a beautiful person regardless of the way that you look. And I want people to love themselves at the end of the day, because it is what they deserve. They deserve to be loved. They deserve to know that they are a beautiful person, no matter what age, gender, or body shape, or whatever it is. Beautiful people all around. And don't be a jerk. Just be a decent human being, and quit judging what people eat.
Exactly.
Let people eat what they want.
Let them go.
Yes.
It's not a big deal.
I started getting so heated during that discussion, because I was like, just let people enjoy their flipping food. Oh my gosh, son of a flipping flipper fish.
I'm hungry too.
So hungry.
I'm hungry too. So
we're all gonna go enjoy whatever we want to eat now.
Yes. And you know what? Depending on the time of day you are listening to this podcast or whatever, if you're able to go get something to eat too, because you deserve it.
Yes.
I'm gonna go get me a big fat juicy cheeseburger. Sounds delicious right now.
Oh, that does sound delicious.
Yes, it does.
See, I'm in the weird mood of like, I don't know what I want to eat right now, so I'm just gonna eat all the things or stare at food until one of them just sounds mouthwateringly delicious.
Yeah, I have to leave the house, so if I'm gonna leave the house, I'm gonna reward myself with a juicy cheeseburger.
That is fair. What are you gonna eat, Rebecca?
I got some leftover red curry. I think I'll eat that.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
That does sound yummy. Oh, I do have a leftover lobster carbonara that I got last night for dinner.
Do it.
I might do that.
I have leftover enchiladas in the fridge, but I'm not going to eat those.
Don't you normally take those for your lunch?
Yeah. I'll probably eat them tomorrow. That's fine.
Well, hopefully our discussion of food made all of you super hungry to the point where you go out and you eat something that you want, because again, you are a beautiful person. So with that, just remember, guys,
You are always loved.
You are never alone.
And this is just us being us.